Hi everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a lot to cover in the video today. We're tracking New Zealand's weekend weather and the outlook for next week. And by the way, it is looking pretty warm, but also quite windy. We're also taking a look at the latest on the super typhoon that is heading towards the Philippines, and of course the Atlantic hurricane, which is about to make landfall in the eastern United States. But we're going to start in New Zealand with the animated wind map, and we've put in the air pressure today to really highlight what is going on. Look at this line down here. Everything you see in the south, the sort of purpley blue colouring, that is all low pressure. Whereas up to the north, the whiter, yellow colouring, that is all a sign of high pressure. So we're kind of in that spring transition where the highs are to the north, the lows are to the south, and in between we've got the westerlies, and that's the reason why we're seeing the temperatures lift up at the moment. Look at Saturday. This is the departure from normal, and if you look at the key over on the side here, we're talking up to 8 degrees above normal for this time of the year. So it is going to be very warm around the eastern South Island and inland areas really of both islands. So why is that? Well, on Saturday it is all to do with this nor'wester or northerly flow. It's coming out of the subtropics or from Australia. It is warm. You got the big high that is actually getting stronger as it drifts away from us. So once we go to Sunday, that high really big out to the east. And that makes sense because this time of the year we usually do get our biggest air pressure systems, our biggest highs. So we're seeing those highs push along. That creates the windy nor'westers or northerlies, and that's what we've got on Sunday, a windy day. It'll be warm again, warmer than average for most places, but the rain returns over on the west coast. By Monday, there's a little bit of a cooler southerly coming in around the South Island, bit of rain out to sea, but for the most part, the North Island may still be warm with northerlies. There's a lot of cloud at the moment. If you live in the western side like Auckland or some parts of Waikato and Northland, it has been very gloomy lately because of this big high. By next week, the wind should start to move that away, but there is a low that we think is looking more likely for around Tuesday of next week. It won't be lasting too long, but it could bring in a burst of heavy rain because it's a little bit trapped between the big high out to the east and the next high that comes in behind it. And we end on Wednesday where, once again, high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south, and we're back to the westerlies. Let's head back to the northern hemisphere now, and we've got the super typhoon Mangkhut heading in towards the northern Philippines. It is a major storm, and it is now by far much bigger than Hurricane Florence. This is the latest satellite map. You can see the eye very clearly. It is heading in towards the northern portion of the Philippines. Manila is here. It will be north of Manila. This is the tracking. You can see Manila down here over the next few days. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center expects it to track south of Hong Kong. That is positive news, but the negative news is it's putting it further down into the Philippines. It's category 5, it's a super typhoon, it is absolutely enormous. And in fact, to give you a comparison, Hurricane Florence, which has weakened a bit, it's category 2, it's still a major storm, but it's not as severe as it was, but it could still be deadly. But look at the size of the super typhoon, it is just absolutely massive. So over towards America, and this is Florence, and this is making landfall now. It's starting to. It will be making landfall overnight tonight and into Saturday morning for those, that's New Zealand time, New Zealand hours. But this is pushing in. It has weakened a little bit to category 2. That is a good thing, but there is a massive amount of rain. So there are two major problems with Florence. Storm surge for all those houses and buildings that are on the sand dunes and right down on the beach, that is a major problem. But the flooding inland is going to be a serious issue. And it's showing up now on the rain radar as it comes in towards the eastern United States. This is not a forecast. That's the actual storm caught by the radar. It is coming in and starting to look pretty major to me. So there we go. That is the weather over the next couple of days. We're watching for 500 millimeters around the eastern United States. We're looking at 500 millimeters or more around the Philippines. And for the Philippines, they've also got those majorly destructive winds. And the storm surge will be much more significant there as well. So we're going to keep you up to date. We'll have news stories over the weekend as we track these two major storms. And also, we'll be updating you on the temperatures here in New Zealand as we push over the 20-degree mark. That's all from me. We'll catch you again next week.